Hey guys, Josh from TradesFlow AI again. Now, we're going to be going through this client's ads account. This is the third episode, basically the third day of managing and scaling our client because yesterday we managed to generate around 9 leads, right, in a single day. Obviously, it's at a budget of $180, but that's because we were doing a high bid strategy, right? Today is going to be more or less focused on like scaling the winning ads and figuring out which ones are going to work, which ones aren't going to work long term. And from that point on, we can basically see and get this client the best results and the best ROI humanly possible, right? So the ads we launched 2 days ago was 3,000 lead gen kitchen, okay. And in the last video, I basically like just went through how like to descale these ads and which ads weren't working too. So we ended up like switching off like almost half of it, which went from like a lead cost of like $180 a daily spend budget to like all the way to 100 now. Now, basically, this is the results. If I just move my camera across right now, on the 11th, right? 11th, we generated 9 leads. And yesterday, or today, basically it's midnight right now, so we just started launching these ads right now. But basically today, we've been able to generate just 3 because we descaled the ads before, right? We continued the winning ones and we descaled the losing ones. And based on these results today, from what I can see, we've basically found ourselves a winner. Like, what's going to like consistently generate you like better results every single day, right? Because if I go here, that's 2 more leads at 1396 today for a kitchen renovation. Like, that's pretty good. And these other ones that we continued, putting across, these ones have increased. Like, CPC has increased, as you can see. So like, let's go to today. Let's go to Tuesday, right? Tuesday, this is 183, 196. And if we go back to Wednesday, it's increased to like 412 and 180, 344, which is clearly not ideal. So just based on that, personally, right, and based on like the statistics, you turn those off, right? So we're turning these ones off. And now we're left with 3 more campaigns, right? And then in these 3 campaigns, we're just double checking the CTR, cost per everything acquisition. And if we go to maximum, right, we can see this one's generated 4, this one's generated 2, this one's generated none yet. And from what I can see here, this has got to be something to do with like a Facebook bug or a Facebook form bug, which is most likely why people aren't able to like submit it. Because sometimes, when you're trying to submit a form in Facebook's API or Facebook in itself, it sometimes can bug out, and that's obviously not good. So we might need to reset this one in the future, right? But judging by the stats alone, it looks like it's performing decent. Now, we're going to turn this one off because obviously it's bugged out, okay? But according to these two, these got like similar stats to each other, right? But we also want to look at like the link clicks and the CTRs, which, click through rate. And over here, you're getting a way lower click through rate than this one right here. All these numbers are quite similar, and all these numbers are quite similar too. So now, just judging on that, if we go to the right, the left-hand side of it, we can see we got around four cost qualified leads. These are like completely like fully qualified in the area. They have a budget. They have a time frame, right? So it's nothing like just a name, phone number, and email, like what most other agencies are doing. And also they like put in their street address too, which is absolutely amazing. But based on this system, based on these numbers that I'm looking at right now, right, this one I might leave it on, I might not leave it on, but we realistically want to get our clients the best and fastest results humanly possible. And we're like, we're really aggressive marketers ourselves. So we're just like here to like be very time aware, and we're going to switch this one off, right? So now we're left with the Facebook ad with 4 leads at 13 bucks and 50 cents, right? After testing how many, so every single ad, it's got a combination using Dynamic 322 as discussed in the first video, 12 combinations. We put 9 combinations here. After testing 108 combinations, we finally got one winning combination, right? And based on this one, we're going to do something called horizontal scaling, which that means we can like pretty much double the ad spend of this ad because it is winning. I'm going to show you my Miro board exactly what I mean when I say that. So now I'm just going to give a quick breakthrough of basically how the meta, how the Facebook algorithm and system even works. I don't think a lot of marketers even know what they're talking about or they're doing half the time. They're just pretty much doing guesswork and hoping to get you results, right? But by putting up an ad and hoping it works. Whereas we're doing an actual method, we're doing something that, it's an actual strategy using mainly numbers and verifying these numbers are legit. Now, the way the Facebook meta ads work is once you launch ads or when you're making an ad, there's a campaign, there's an ad set, and there's a pretty much an ad, right? So CAA, pretty much that's what it's called. And most people have like a system called CBO, which is called campaign budget level. They basically set all the budget under this bracket right here. Okay, and that's what YouTubers or like people on YouTube just say. Just go CBO. You'll be fine. Whatever, and let the everyone else do the rest. And I've tested it out. It hasn't worked for me personally. What's really worked in the construction niche though has been ad set budget level campaigns. Okay, and on these ad set budget level campaigns, we don't need CBO anymore. We can do something called dynamic 322, as I explained in the first video, right? And this is going to allow you to basically do CBO on steroids. But it's pretty much AI, and get AI to test 12 different variations, which is like the golden ratio right there. Okay. And right now, in the ad set alone, on a dynamic 322, you can only put one ad. Whereas on a CBO, like this one right here, what ends up happening is you can put one ad set with multiple different like ads under it. But this method is so ineffective, right? Because you're basically having to do everything manually. And realistically, it's just such an inefficient method of split testing in itself. And it's all manual, done by hand. Whereas this one allows you to basically split test on steroids by using Facebook's AI, all right? By being able to mix and match the golden ad set or the golden photo with the golden headline with the golden copy. And it's so OP that we were able to get this client, basically $13 a lead. And it's the third day too. So, I mean, take it or leave it. That's kitchen renovations for you. And the way Facebook targets the right people and knows who the right people to target is by using their already processed ICP, which is ideal customer profile, right? So that like they've got 1.2 billion users on this platform. They have an ICP for pretty much every single one. They know what you like. They know what you eat, the drink, when you went, who you're in a relationship with, pretty much. But basically, this is like where we last time on the first video went through the targeting for it, right? So we put like common interests down. So like for example, in the interest section, we put kitchen, we put interior renovation, right? Reno, etc., etc. So that just basically means Facebook's already got like an ICP filled with people that have either followed kitchen companies, right, liked kitchen posts, what do you call view reels, right, reels, Facebook reels, or just searched kitchen in itself, like that they're actually actively searching for one, and that's going to be how Facebook initially targets your audience, right? But this method, like if you followed everything I've even described over here, and you put all the assigned interests, etc., etc., all the right settings down, you still have to realize Facebook's a bidding platform. It's not like get rich quick scheme at all. It's actually it's a game that everyone's competing in, right? And you got to be actually good at playing this game. So what this looks like is a lot of people just assume I'm going to spend $5, I'm going to get 1,000 leads, and that does not equal to that, right? Because end of the day, there are people spending $30 a day, right? There are people spending 150 a day, and there are people spending 1,000 a day, right? And depending on these brackets right here, you're basically playing a pyramid game. You're bidding with like, you're either bidding $5 and you're only getting this much of the pie, or you're bidding 30 and getting this much of the pie. Depending on how much you bid is how much you can reach out to people and how much Facebook basically like values the ad as a business partner in itself, right? Idealistically, the way all of this system works is Facebook is going to initially give you the best ICP. Let's say you just spend a little bit of money, right? Like let's say $15 a day just for an ad itself or ad set itself. It's going to give you, the best ICP for the first couple of days. But what ends up then happening is your ads start performing well, sort of well at the beginning, but then they just start dying, right? And you start getting something called ad fatigue, right? And this is why I always tell people you can't just keep an ad up and hope it works forever and ever, because the market's always changing, and also you're going to get something called ad fatigue initially anyways. Now there's two ways of combating it, right? One's obviously changing up the ad, but the number two method is what you call like scaling it up, whether it's vertical or horizontal scaling. So let's say in this example, you're only spending like $15, right? You're competing against just you're competing against so many competitors out there that are spending $15 a day. Right now, once we find the winning campaign that's got good results, got good CTR, got good everything, right? You're going to basically go to the second bracket and bid higher, right? And in this bracket, you can see how compressed the first market is. But in this bracket in itself, you're basically just going to be competing against way less people. There's still going to be a lot of people in there. Don't get me wrong, it's still competitive, but nowhere near like the amount of the first bracket you're spending $15 on. In this bracket, you could be spending like, 50, let's say 50 a day, right? 50 per day. And now you're like bidding against way less people, and you're also showing your ads to way more people. And effectively, this is going to like make your ads skyrocket at an exponential scale, right? Now, the third bracket is like when we like truly scale you to the top, right? Because this bracket is like, let's say you're spending like 200 a day, right? And you're again, like competing against way less people than bracket two, but at the same time, you're showing your ads to way more people, and it goes up even more exponentially, just like that. But you've got to make sure the initial ad is actually going to be good. If you do it wrong, it can effectively backfire, right? Like you can effectively go like a chart like this, right? Like that's just what's going to happen. So the way we can do this is two methods. As I said again, vertical scaling and horizontal scaling. Okay. Now, both methods have its ups and downs. I'm just going to show you what methods work and what methods don't work, right? So in vertical scaling, what's basically happening is you're duplicating the ad set. All right, you're duplicating it. Now, what happens though is once you duplicate the ad set, as you know, Facebook's machine learning algorithm, it resets, right? It just resets. So everything the AI has done, everything it's done. It just resets itself. It resets the data, it resets the ICP and everything. In vertical scaling, you're hoping Facebook can find the right ICP again, right? That's you're basically targeting over here, and yeah, just like hoping it's going to do good results again. But the issue with vertical scaling, guys, is the fact that it's more safe, but it is less reward. So this is more like a beginner method, right? And what ends up happening again, you're duplicating your ad set. You're hoping Facebook finds the right audience, picks up the right audience for that ad set for your account again. Who knows what's going to happen? You might not find the right audience, and it's just going to completely shatter in itself, and it's just not going to perform as well as the winning one that you initially had. It's safe because you're not actually making any changes to the original winning campaign, so nothing happens. If anything, you can just return that winning campaign on the initial winning campaign one and hope it works again, right? In horizontal scaling, this is a more advanced friendly one. This isn't as beginner friendly, and this is basically increasing spend in the same ad set, right? Increasing spend the same ad set. And if you do this wrong, it can do the exact same thing as what you did with vertical scaling and or completely screw up your ads. And you might not make any money again on your account for that ad alone. So it's very important you do this properly, okay? Especially, not making too many changes at once too, because this is very risky, but this is high reward because you risk yourself, if not done properly, resetting everything. But you don't have to repeat the same process like what with vertical scaling does. You go pretty much back to square one, which is right here at like $50 if you decided to spend it like that. And what horizontal scaling does over here is it bypasses everything vertical scaling does, and it just like gets you to the second bracket right here. So if you decide to spend 50, from $15 all the way to 15, right, you basically go to the second bracket already. Vertical scaling, you decide to duplicate the ad, spend $50, you go back to the first section. So it is what it is. Now, based on everything I've shown, based on everything I've discussed, we're going to do a horizontal scale for this client in itself, right? Right now, we've basically got 13.52 leads out of all the 108 combinations AI's tested for us. And now we're going to increase this budget, not by too much, not by some crazy amount, but because I understand how it works and I understand, this isn't going to completely screw it up, I can just press publish, right? And what I just did is safe because right here, when I press publish, it doesn't say learning, right? If it says learning, then you're completely screwed up. But because when I press publish, it's at active, it means as running normally. It's got the same data, same stats. These 4 leads are still in the campaign stats itself. It's still using the same data, and it's just going to learn pretty well. Basically, we use this method across every single one of our clients' ads accounts. And this method has been generating just extremely good results across everyone. I'm going to show you a couple like results it's generated for like our other clients too. So this is Adam. Again, like this is Adam's account. And in Adam's account right now, he does bathroom renos, right? Bathroom modeling and all that. We're using the exact same method for him. And initially it generated like cost per leads like maybe 50. Basically, we need to do it incrementally to decrease the cost per lead over time because you can't just get like a $5 cost per lead at the very beginning. It comes with constant testing. Like for example, this campaign alone, right? If we click on it, the amount of campaigns we've tested for this client has been astronomical, right? We tested so many different ones and then we had to evolve it, right? And the second evolution of the campaign was this one that we just started running again. This one has an average of 36, but if we go to the campaign levels and the ones we actually scaled up properly, right? The ones we finally finished scaling up, we're getting $23 leads for bathroom renovation. That in and of itself is amazing considering the fact that they completely qualified again an actual time frame, right? They're actually in the area, location qualified, and they're serious. They have an ideal budget that they literally put down. And in the industry itself, like for regular campaigns, if anyone else were to run it, you'd be lucky to get a $50 a lead on your campaigns with no qualification stages at all. So the fact that we're getting 8 using this method again at 23, this is really recent. If we go to last 7 days too, right? This is like 7 days ago since we started like scaling this client sense account. Same thing with Barthex, right? Like this is one of our other clients, and we scaled him the exact same way we scaled just this example in itself, right? 190 leads. The average has been 38. All right. Obviously, ROI is made back. If everyone has an actual budget, they are location qualified in your area 100% of the time, and they have a time frame. You call them up, they're responsive. Street address is already provided. I mean, 38 in itself is already phenomenal, but we have to do this for multiple different campaigns. We're not just doing it for one. We're not just hoping it works. The amount of ads we had to test for this client alone has been astronomical until we could get a winning campaign that was consistently generating results. But yeah, that's pretty much it. Like I hope you guys found this helpful in some way, shape, or form, right? And if you did, feel free to drop me a message. Feel free to drop me a comment if you guys had any questions whatsoever regarding this. And if you're watching this and you did want someone to run these campaigns for you, or like someone that at least knows his stuff, at least I feel like I know my stuff, right? You be the judge of that, and generate you guys results. There's a button below in the section. Feel free to book a meeting with us, and excited to serve you guys. But other than that, feel free to still ingest the free content that we'll provide consistently. At the end of the day, guys, this is what's been working. This is like the method that I've created myself, and it's been just generating all of our clients amazing results. And I hope you guys the best and wish you guys the best day.